stones that can predict the future. Human history has had a long tradition of prescient stones. Many cultures have stories of stones that are harbingers of major shifts in the course of history, or bear prophecies. A famous example comes from the Chinese classical novel, Dream of the Red Chamber, where a piece of magical jade was found in protagonist Jia Baoyu's mouth at birth. This jade was a remnant of the five-colored stone that the goddess Niuwei used to patch up the wall of heaven eons ago, and came engraved with an indication of heaven's will. The front side of the jade read, "Never lose, never forget. Youth and prosperity shall maintain." The back side read, "1 to smite evil, 2 to cure illness, 3 to know fortune and misfortune." Baoyu's fate in the novel later realizes these two inscriptions. There are other stones identified by historical records that have been connected with predictions of human events. Some of such stones have accidentally landed on Earth, and some others were discovered by chance. Here are a few such examples. How the Sphinx in Egypt enacted a change of reign. The Sphinx, standing upon the Giza Plateau in Cairo, Egypt, is regarded as one of the most famous statues in the world. Its exact origin still remains a mystery to date. Some archaeologists suggest that it was created by ancient Egyptians during the reign of Khafre, 2558 to 2532 BC, while some others have posited that the Sphinx was created between 10,000 and 800,000 years ago. Part of the Sphinx used to be buried by sand. During that time, only the human head was visible above the surface. The first documented attempt of excavation was around 1400 BC, and the entire process was engraved on a stele. This stele is known as the Dream Stele, and was erected between the front paws of the Sphinx by the ancient Egyptian pharaoh Thutmose IV in 1401 BC, the first year of his reign. Thutmose IV was the son of Amenhotep II, and was not originally the chosen successor to the throne. According to the inscription on the stele, one day while he was out hunting, Thutmose felt tired and rested in the shadow of the human head of the Sphinx, as the lower body was still buried in sand at that time. He soon fell asleep and had a dream. In the dream, Re-Herakti, the sun god embodied by the Sphinx, spoke to him like a father to his son. He promised to give Thutmose the kingship if he would clear away the sand that engulfed the monument. Thutmose did what he was told in the dream, and sure enough, he ascended to the throne of Egypt as Thutmose IV in the 18th dynasty, the meteor that predicted the Qin dynasty's end. According to the records of the Grand Historian or Annals of Qin Shi Huang, a large meteor fell in Dongjun, an eastern prefecture of the Qin dynasty, in the year 211 BC. What was more shocking were the words etched into the meteor. The first emperor will die and his land will be divided. The first emperor referred to Qin Shi Huang, who was furious and ordered for the meteor to be burned immediately. Not long after, while Qin Shi Huang was on an inspection tour, a man holding a piece of jade stood in the way of the emperor's lead officer. The man said, "Please give this to Hao Qijun, water god. By the way, the ancestral dragon will die this year." The ancestral dragon was also another reference to Qin Shi Huang, but without any further explanation, the man disappeared without a trace. When an imperial ministry official examined the jade, it turned out to be the same piece that Qin Shi Huang accidentally dropped into a river 8 years earlier. However, Qin Shi Huang paid the man's words no heed. He thought that since it was already late autumn, there was no time left for the prophecy to take effect. In July of the following year, Qin Shi Huang did indeed die from illness while on another inspection tour. The Qin dynasty, which Qin Shi Huang had hoped would last forever, crumbled a few years later in 206 BC. Traditional Chinese culture venerated the concept of interaction between heaven and man, a view that saw that major events in the human world as reactions to cosmic changes. For example, a fall of meteors was generally interpreted as bad omens by imperial astronomers. According to historical records, a meteor shower occurred before the death of Zhou Yu, 175 to 210 AD, a well-known military general and strategist serving under the warlord Sun Tzu and his younger brother Sun Quan in the late Eastern Han Dynasty of China. Before Zhuge Liang died, a meteor fell the night before. Zhuge Liang, 181 to 234 AD, was recognized as the most accomplished strategist of the era. Prior to his death, Zhuge Liang reportedly bemoaned, "Life and death are decreed by fate. I cannot avert the disaster, There was a rare shower of meteors on March 8, 1976, in Jilin, China, and 3 top leaders in China died that year. They were Mao Zedong, founder of the PRC and chairman of the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, Zhou Enlai, premier of the PRC, and Zhu De, one of the People's Liberation Army's 10 marshals and the chairman of the National People's Congress's Standing Committee. On July 28 of the same year, a devastating earthquake took place in Tangshan, killing at least 240,000 people. The pig grunt stone that sets off alarms. The pig grunt stone, also known as the alarm stone, is located deep in the Taihang mountain range of Linzhou, Hunan province. This purplish stone is 3 meters high, 3 meters wide, 2 meters thick, and takes up roughly 4 cubic meters of space. Looking at the stone from the front, one can clearly make out 2 eyes, very much like those of a pig, with one closed and the other open. Add to this pig face the stone's color and texture, and the stone seems to resemble a pig. What is mystical about it is not its pig-like appearance, but the fact that it would grunt or cry out whenever a major event was on the horizon. According to the locals, the stone cried out before the Manchu army entered Shanhai Pass in 1644, and before the Eight-Nation Alliance invaded northern China in 1900. It kept grunting for over a month before the Japanese invaded China in 1937. The stone also screamed loudly before the Chinese Communist Party took power in 1949, before the destructive Cultural Revolution in 1966, the severe earthquake in Tangshan in 1976, and before the SARS outbreak in 2003. The pitch of its cry varies from high to low. Researchers have tried to record its grunting on the spot, but could not pick up anything regardless of the device they used. To date, the strange phenomenon still remains a mystery to science. The pig grunt stone has been crying out from time to time in recent years, and local elders believe that this is an indication of yet another major event to come. The hidden character stone in Guizhou. In June 2002, Wang Guofu, a village party secretary at the time, stumbled across a huge stone during a cleanup project. The stone is 7 meters long and 3 meters in height, with 6 clearly visible characters inscribed on the surface. The Chinese Communist Party will perish. Each character is about 1 square foot in size, with the character for perish being larger than the others. The site of the stone's discovery was isolated and untouched by humans for centuries. Geological experts from Guizhou University concluded after careful investigation that the stone was naturally formed around 270 million years ago, with no signs of human manipulation. It was part of a boulder which fell from the cliff of the Lanma River Valley 500 years ago and broke into 2 pieces. The characters, "The Chinese Communist Party will perish," are imprinted on the revealed surface after the break. Over the past 71 years, the CCP has ruled China by violence, deception, and ruthless suppression, and caused the deaths of 80 million people through its various political movements. It advocates the philosophy of struggle and atheism in defiance of heaven, earth, nature, and humanity. It brews falsehood, wickedness, and struggle, completely destroying Chinese traditional culture and universal values. It has turned China into a morally bankrupt society. Since 1999, in order to maintain its persecution of Falun Gong and the principles of truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance, the CCP has ruled the country through extensive corruption at all levels. It then uses this corruption to incite excessive violence against ordinary people, placing itself above law and order. For over 21 years, the CCP has used all sorts of cruel means in persecuting Falun Gong practitioners, including slander, imprisonment, torture, financial harassment, organ harvesting, and other means. It has now utilized similar means in its suppression of the general public, including the Uyghurs, the residents of Hong Kong, and Mongolians. The tyrannic rule of the CCP has caused widespread indignation and resentment. The Epoch Times published its 9 commentaries on the Communist Party in November 2004, which exposed CCP's lies and brutal history with abundant facts and evidence. On January 12, 2005, the Epoch Times issued a solemn statement, pointing out that the end of the Communist Party is coming, and gods will settle scores with this evil demon. And at the same time it launched the movement of 3 withdrawals, withdrawing from the CCP, the Communist Youth League, and Young Pioneers. To date, More than 382 million people have quit the three CCP organizations. A stele that shows the way to safety. Lu Bowen, 1311–1375, a renowned sage in the Ming Dynasty, once described a prophecy in his Taibai mountain monument inscription. The stele containing the prophecy emerged during an earthquake, and the content of the prophecy began to circulate amongst people in recent years. The inscription not only predicted a large-scale pandemic, but also offered people a clue as to how to stay safe. It is thus regarded by many as a path to salvation. The stele of Lu Bowen pointed out that the catastrophe would occur in a year of Gungzi. 2020 is such a year. Should you inquire of when this bane flares/September, October shall enter the blight, says two lines of the prophecy. In the prophecy, Lu also lists 10 tragedies that would happen year. Speaking of bodies abandoned to rot/the Boar to Rat passage is tragedy fraught. The beginning of 2020 is the end of the year of the boar, and the beginning of the year of the rat. It also accurately pointed out the origin and spread of the plague in its list of 10 tragedies. Huguang encounters disaster the third. / across all of China, cries are soon heard. Huguang refers to the region of China that includes Wuhan, Hubei. At the end of the inscription, Lu Bowen told people the key to salvation: truthfulness, compassion, forbearance, through a riddle, telling people that only those who embrace kindness could be saved. There have been numerous cases since the onset of the pandemic, in which people infected with COVID-19 CCP virus recovered completely by reciting Falun Dafa is good, truthfulness, compassion, forbearance is good. Many such cases have been reported on Minghui.org. Epilogue. The deadly coronavirus, CCP virus, is now attacking humanity with rapid mutations and devastating implications. The divine has offered people precious guidance from ancient times to stay kind and upright, and warn people of calamity when human morality deteriorates to a dangerous level. Both Lu Bowen's prophecy and the hidden character stone send us a clear message to keep far away from the CCP at this critical moment in history, and discern good from evil. Numerous stories and personal experiences have proven that the phrases Falun Dafa is good, truthfulness, compassion, forbearance is good, can help the people who recite them. It may be wise to remember them, since if these stories are any proof, messages from stones are more often right than they are wrong.